Now we go out to Eugene. And this is an interesting one because Coach Prime has brought so many people into the college football tent. I was thinking about this, you had multiple celebrities in Boulder. You had celebrities tweeting about the game at 1:30 in the morning Eastern time, 9.3 million people watching. So I do feel like we're welcoming new people into the herd of college football fans here. But no Travis Hunter going to Oregon is a scary prospect. And Oregon is a 3-touchdown favorite. But no Travis Hunter is really scary.
Very, very scary. Yeah. I mean, I've made no secret that obviously I am high on Colorado. Deion was on the pro football show with me for the last 3 years. And so, just my bias there from a personal standpoint. But when you looked at the Colorado schedule going into this season, I thought that they were definitely going to do better. I mean, their total was 3.5 wins. I thought that was an easy to take the over. But this is the stretch that you started to look at. Like, okay, you've got Oregon, and then you've got USC, and then you really get into the Pac-12 gauntlet. And this is when we're really going to see what Colorado looks like. Now, people who didn't think they were going to be any good at all said by the time this game happened, it wasn't going to be a storyline. Well, those people are obviously very wrong. The big thing, Andy, is, Bo Nix and this offense at Oregon are very, very good. And what we've seen Colorado's defense look like with or without Travis Hunter, obviously without is a bigger problem, but they're not able to slow a lot of people down thus far. I mean, Shedeur Sanders in this offense can win in a shootout, and that might be true. But, I mean, Bo Nix is a different type of quarterback than they've seen. And I think the bigger thing is when you look in the trenches, when you look at Colorado's offensive line and defensive line, they're just not up to caliber of what we're going to see Oregon trot out on Saturday. Do I think Colorado can cover the number? Yes. Will I convince myself by Saturday that they're going to win the game? Also, probably yes. But I think I'm just being honest here. That's what it is. Like,
Kayce, what's Deion like as
works?
What's Deion like as a coworker?
He's actually phenomenal. And I know people like roll their eyes when I say that, but I always tell the story. The first time that we ever did the pro football show with him, it was in 2020. And obviously, people weren't going all over the place. So we were actually taking the company plane to his ranch every single Friday. So we were going into prime country, which was awesome. And I was so nervous the first time that I went, because I'm assuming, hey, like Deion Sanders, I've heard he's a great guy, but I'm sure he holds himself as being a very popular athlete, one of the best athletes of all time. And he's not going to care about me as a host. It was a complete opposite. And, growing up in the Dallas area, obviously he was somebody that I watched with my family growing up, and he's been phenomenal. And last season when I was pregnant and I was so self-conscious going on these shows and I felt horrible all the time and I just needed their help to get me through. I mean, I posted a lot of videos. Like, he is Uncle Prime. He's my son's uncle and he got me through a lot of those shows. He's phenomenal. So of course I'm going to be biased when people are like, oh, tell us your friends. Yeah, I am. But also he is a very good head coach, and what he's done for this Colorado program. I mean, that it's the most popular thing we've seen in college football probably ever.
There's a lot to chew on here. And our friends at FanDuel, they bring us these lines. And man, they have made it very intriguing. There's so many storylines, so many great games. Obviously, Notre Dame and Ohio State is the headliner. Ohio State a slight favorite on the road. But there's some really interesting ones like, Oklahoma going to Cincinnati in Cincinnati's first ever Big 12 game. And Oklahoma is a more than 2-touchdown road favorite. That's a wild line right there. You got Ole Miss going to Alabama getting 7 points. If you've been following all the drama between Ole Miss and Alabama, if you've been following all the problems with Alabama's offense, if you've been listening to this show, watching this show, you know about all that stuff. FanDuel has given us a lot to work with. So go to FanDuel.com/Staples, and with a $5 bet, you get $200 in guaranteed bets. That's FanDuel.com/Staples. Download that FanDuel app and get going. They got all these games. They got the NFL games. Whatever you want to wager on, they have it at FanDuel. So download that app. Use that code Staples. $5. Get $200 in guaranteed bonus bets. There's a lot to wager on this weekend. So many good college football games. It is a wall-to-wall slate. We're going to break those all down, and I'm going to pick what I think's going to hit this time. So I have a clip of Deion being asked about what Dan Lanning said earlier this year. Because remember, Dan Lanning said, well, what have they won? I don't think they did anything in the Pac-12. And I figured that, maybe that makes it personal. So he was asked if it made it personal.
Oregon's head coach has spoken about Colorado a few times in the past. Is it personal once again this week?
I respect the heck out of this man, what he's accomplished, stepping in, taking over a program and keeping it not only rocking steady, but accelerating it. So I'm not a fan of anybody. I mean, except for, some of the celebrities that got a tremendous gift, but not in sports. I respect the heck out of him. I love what he's accomplishing. I love who he is, the way he runs his team. I love the way he operates. So I got a lot of respect for him.
I don't know if he knows Dan Lanning's name, but I can tell you right now, Deion had probably just watched some Oregon tape before he said that, because there was no, you made it personal. It was, no, we respect the hell out of you. Please.
Yeah. A little bit of a different tune from Deion, as we've seen over the last few weeks. But I mean, at this point, and I made a whole stink about this too. Like, I didn't care at all that the Colorado students rushed the field. If I was in school, I would have done the same thing. But Deion and those coaches know they should have won that game. I mean, the spread was 24. Again, the way the game was won and everything surrounding it makes it a win's a win. But Deion's very aware of what probably the narrative is, surrounding this game. But it's also just a different team than we've seen. I understand TCU played for the national championship last year. Different team, different quarterback. That defense looked god awful. Nebraska's not any good. Colorado State on paper should not have been a close game. This one is different. And Deion knows how to play this. I mean, he's the best at his own PR. He knows that. He can't go out there and say the same stuff, Andy. I mean, if he did, it would get the headlines, but he also knows better than to hype up Oregon and Bo Nix right now.
No, you don't want to get them mad at you because they are already physically more talented than you. Right. I'm going to take Oregon to cover here. I'm going to take Deion's advice. Like, I'm going to read between the lines with Deion and say, you know what? With no Travis Hunter, that probably adds another touchdown or two to Oregon's total, and they were already going to be able to score some. So I will take Oregon to cover here.
I mean, Colorado's offensive line is going to have to do a way better job of protecting Shedeur, because if you can imagine those Oregon defenders coming after him, he's going to be running for his life the entire game. And he has offensive weapons with or without Travis Hunter, but that's going to be the key for me, is what that line of scrimmage looks like. But I mean, I'm honest. I'm going to talk myself into this. Saturday before that game, I'm going to be like, nope, money line. But and
you're getting 3 touchdowns, so at least, I mean, the cover's an easy take.
Yeah, no.
And then the money line.
I'm taking plus 21, but I also will probably be texting you at about 3:15 on Saturday saying money line.
Money line. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples On 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.